Hello there, my name is Lockie, this is Coast Watch Football, and this is my reaction to the World Cup draw. I haven't had a look at it yet, so I'm going into this blind because I thought that might make things pretty interesting. Specifically for me, I'm excited to see who the Socceroos could potentially be facing. Of course, Australia still yet to qualify. Let's dive into the groups right now, starting off with Group A. All right, here we go. Okay, so, of course, Qatar, the host nation, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands. Okay, interesting. That's a pretty open group, man. I mean, obviously you think Netherlands are going to be favourites to win that group just with the quality they have. But honestly, that's pretty open. I know Senegal have got some class players, Ecuador back in the World Cup, Qatar there as well. Honestly, like, those matches between those three sides, they're open for anyone to win, I reckon. And all those teams will rate their chances of making it through to the round of 16. So that could be an exciting group A. All right, Group B. England, Iran, USA, and then the winner of the Euro playoff, which will either be Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine. Of course, there's three spots still yet to be decided. Okay. That will be an interesting group as well, because I think regardless of any of those European sides who get through, I mean, and then you've got USA who have got some really good young players coming through the squad at the moment as well. And then Iran and England, I mean, again, that could be some really exciting games there. I think it's going to be fun to watch England versus the USA. But that'll be a fun group too, man. Group C, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Okay. That's actually kind of, I think, a deceptively tough group. Argentina, you'd expect to go top on that group. But, I mean, Saudi Arabia did very well in qualifying, of course, defeating my Socceroos in the last game of qualifying not too long ago. Mexico and Poland, those are the two teams that I feel like that matchup will be interesting. That matchup will be interesting because they've both got good players. Of course, Lewandowski for Poland, and then Mexico, I mean, they've got Raul Jimenez and got some experienced World Cup campaigners in that squad. Mexico often make it to the World Cup. So that'll be an interesting battle in terms of who will crack second place. But, you know, Saudi Arabia could prove an upset as well. Group D, France, one of the playoff spots, Denmark and Tunisia. So this is the group that Australia will be going in if they do qualify. Wow. And it's both France and Denmark again. Of course, two of the sides that were in the group that Australia had from the 2018 Russia World Cup. Peru as well, but Tunisia is in this one. And wow, man, I mean, France and Denmark again. So potentially, if Australia do make it through, we got three of the same teams from the same group in the previous World Cup. We had some really tough games against those two European sides. Tunisia, I mean, I can't recall a time where Australia's ever played Tunisia, and I'm sure they're going to be a challenging side to come up against as well. So look, another pretty tough group for Australia if we do make it through, of course, as well. I mean, if it's not us, it's either going to be Peru or the UAE. But yeah, man, wow, I'm just like shocked to see that it could well be France and Denmark again that we're coming up against in the World Cup. Group E, we've got Spain, we've got the other playoff winner, which will either be New Zealand or Costa Rica, Germany and Japan. Okay, that's a very spicy group, yeah. I mean, Spain and Germany, obviously two heavyweights of international football, two World Cup winners in the past couple decades. Japan can always cause an upset at World Cup level, and as well, I mean, whether it is New Zealand or Costa Rica coming in, I think they'll be the underdogs in this group. But never write them off, the underdogs, man. I mean, especially a team like Costa Rica, I mean, they could make a solid push. And New Zealand, of course. I mean, even if New Zealand if Australia don't make it through and New Zealand do make it through, honestly, I'll kind of be barracking for New Zealand. I mean, there are neighbours here in Australia. So, yeah, another fun group to watch that one. Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. That's a cool group, man. That's a cool group. That's sort of like the hipster group because you got, I mean, Belgium's obviously top dog in that group. I'm excited to watch Canada. I'm excited that they've qualified for the World Cup. They've had a really good qualifying campaign. They are topped the table in the CONCACAF qualifying campaign. Morocco, an African side with some good talent in it. And of course, Croatia as well. And we know all about Croatia. Of course, the runners-up of the 2018 World Cup. And such a fantastic team with the likes of with Luka Modric, even Perisic. I mean, again, any of those sides on their day, I think Belgium should top the group, but any of those other sides, I feel like could cause some drama, especially when it comes to maybe the final games of the round for the group stage. So Group F, I'm going to be keeping my eye on that group specifically. That'll be an exciting one. We've got Group G: Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. Again, pretty similar to Group F, where that's a really intriguing group. And again, you've obviously got the team Brazil, who are going in as favourites, but Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. Again, all those matchups will be really, really interesting. All teams with some really good key players in them. And I feel like any of them on their day could defeat each other. It's quite a balanced group. So, and again, don't write off any of those teams defeating Brazil as well. So these two groups that we've just read out, F and G, really, really interesting. Lastly, we've got Group H: Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and Korea Republic. Okay, so I mean, you'd expect Portugal to go top. And I think when you compare those other nations, Uruguay is probably the one, just with the class they do have in their squad, back to run second. But Korea Republic, of course, Heung-min Son, the star player, Tottenham Hotspur player, and Ghana as well. I mean, a team that, I mean, I remember being an Australia fan of faced Ghana before in the World Cup. And again, that'll be an interesting group. So this group, more so maybe than other ones you probably expect, you can see sort of the two that might go through in Portugal and Uruguay. But again, anything can happen. So those are the groups for the 2022 Qatar FIFA World Cup. And some really enjoyable matchups I think we're going to see, man. I mean, for me, the highlights are Group F and Group G. Just I think of how balanced they are. And of course, we're going to be doing plenty of content here on the YouTube channel surrounding the World Cup when it comes around to that time, man. It's so much fun when it comes around. And of course, make sure you're subscribed if you want to keep up to date to that content when it comes around to it. Guys, my name's Lockie. This is Coastwatch Football, and I'll see you in the next one.